in the sky. It's a bird.
It's a plane!
We are a rumor. Recognizable only as deja vu and dismissed just as quickly. We are the best kept secret in the universe.
I know.
I want in. You erased my parents' memories, but you didn't get mine. It took me 20 years to find you. How many people can say that? I found you, which makes me perfect for this job.
What is up, guys? Kid Critic is back with another review, and this review is on the new installment into the Men in Black franchise, Men in Black International, which is directed by F. Gary Gray and stars Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson, and it's about H and Agent M who employ high-tech weaponry to battle mischievous aliens on Earth. However, the pair discover a major threat within their own operation. Now with all that out of the way, Joker, start this review for us.
And here we go.
Now heading into this movie, I was definitely more curious than excited because, I mean, the trailers didn't really knock my socks off or anything. I thought they were decent at best. I mean, Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson look good in them, obviously, because they're great in everything. But so far, though, I've had a blast with the Men in Black franchise. The first one is amazing. I love that movie. I mean, who doesn't? Men in Black 2, I don't hate the movie. It's just very forgettable. Men in Black 3, however, I actually think is very underrated. I mean, is it as good as the first one? Absolutely not. But I still think it's a very good movie. I think it's the closest we've gone to a Men in Black movie, changing it up a little bit. And what I mean by changing it up a little bit, what I mean is like adding something new, like with the time travel stuff and going back to the past. I thought that was pretty cool, adding that new material into the Men in Black films. Now, coming out of Men in Black International, what did I think? Well, I'll say this. I definitely had a better time watching this movie than Men in Black 2. So with that said, I do think this is better than Men in Black 2. However, I still found this movie overall, like after a few weeks, I'd probably find this movie to be a bit forgettable. Now, is this movie horrible? Absolutely not. I actually had a pretty solid time with this movie, but I just found nothing to be memorable about this movie. Now, before we head down the negative road, let's start off on the positive one. I'll start off with the first pro, and that is before we head down the negative road, let's head down the more positive one with my first pro, and that is Tessa Thompson and Chris Hemsworth definitely carry this movie with their brilliant charismatic performances in this film. I also thought they had a pretty nice relationship overall throughout the movie. I definitely don't think it's as good as the Will Smith, Tommy Lee Jones one, which I think drives the first 3 Men in Black movies. But overall, that was a pretty nice relationship due to their performances. And they also have a relationship outside of the movie because they've worked on other films such as Thor Ragnarok, and I definitely think that probably carries into this movie and helps it out a lot. And that one little guy, yes, that one. At first I thought it was going to be like pretty annoying, but you know what, little guy, you're actually pretty cool. I did like, however, how the Tessa Thompson character found the Men in Black, whereas usually the Men in Black tend to go look out for prospects and sports terms, which means like look for trainees. And they showed that in the trailers, but I did like that aspect of the movie, which they did something new. Which heads into my cons of the movie.
I got a bad feeling about this.
And my first con with the movie is that this film is very, 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 very predictable. Like, for example, there's a twist in this movie that I won't say because it's a twist. It's something that I saw coming from, like, galaxies away. Like, I called it within, like, the first act, and I was like, that's gonna happen. It ended up happening. The thing that has made a successful franchise successful in the first place is that they always change it up. Like, for example, the MCU had a spy thriller with Captain America Winter Soldier, to then a space opera with like Guardians of the Galaxy, to a heist film with Ant-Man, and then you obviously have your Avengers films where the planet or the universe is at stake. But with the Men in Black franchise, it's just always been the same thing with some alien creature landing on Earth, and it's had some history with the Men in Black organization, and it's threatening Earth for some reason. It's just the same thing every single movie, and it's getting tiring. And unless they switch it up, to be honest, I won't get excited for another Men in Black movie unless they prove me wrong. And franchises such as Fast and the Furious and a Transformers, other than Bumblebee, they've gone through those problems where it's just like the same thing over and over again. It's just getting tiring. Now, the Men in Black franchise, in my opinion, has not had a good history with villains. Even the first one, which is a film that I love, and even the third one, which is another movie that I really enjoy. The villains in all the movies are just absolutely forgettable and just stink, and this villain in this movie can go in that same pile. And those creatures too that you see in the trailers that like shapeshift into other people, well, they're practically Skrulls. And I mean, we just saw the same thing in Dark Phoenix, and it's like, I don't know what it is with these shape-shifting creatures. It's like, I guess that's a new trend now with these movies. And look, is there enjoyment in this movie? Absolutely. I actually had a pretty fun time with this movie. But it's just so predictable. You're just seeing the same thing over and over again. That even with the Hemsworth and the Tessa Thompson charisma and their performances and their relationship together, even that little guy, yeah, that little guy. Don't we love that little guy? Even with all that, and some of the pretty cool action, I thought, because, you know, I love seeing alien action. It's just, like, getting too repetitive to the point where, like, okay, at the end of the day, this movie is going to be pretty forgettable, which then leads to my score. My score for Men in Black International, as of today, you never know, my opinion may change, and I may give this movie a 5 out of 5, but not today. This movie, I want to give a 2.75 out of 5 for any. I kind of relate this to a previous film that just came out a couple weeks ago that was very different, to Godzilla King of the Monsters, where I found the monsters to be the entertaining part, and other than that, it was pretty forgettable. And with this movie, whenever it had to do with Hemsworth or Tessa Thompson, that's when it was entertaining, but other than that, it was, again, forgettable. Now, if you're a fan of the Men in Black franchise, I absolutely recommend this movie. Is this movie horrible? No, there's some fun to have with this film. Again, the performances are really good, the action is fun, and that little guy is great. That little guy, yeah, that little guy. But again, it's just been very repetitive, and I'm just like, it's just gonna be a forgettable movie at the end of the day. I even forgot the little guy's name. Oh yeah, it's little guy, whatever. I'll call him little guy from now on. With all that out of the way, tell me down in the comment section below, what did you think of Men in Black International? I thought I had some fun with it, but just overall forgettable movie. With that said, guys, as in every Kid Critic review or video, look out for the next video or review. And peace. And before I forget, make sure you guys look into this right here, alright? And this never happened.